It's like nonsense, just me like.
Is that where Jesus came from, bro? JesusHateYou.com. What the
my
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video, man. They've got this dope video here. It's called the Madness Combat Story. I think it's like a documentary type video about Madness Combat, clearly. It says chapter 1, so 1998 to 2002. I'm actually excited to see more of this series real quick. I think it was only released like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. So about 13 minutes long, so let's get into this shit, man. Shout out to Madness Archive 2, bro. I got the link in the description as usual, bro. Also, YouTube, first 30 seconds not gonna happen, though. I'm just saying. We're just gonna get into this. So this is gonna be about, like, the game or the animation? Shit, probably both, honestly. Yo, Newgrounds honestly is legendary as hell. They got Pico, they got all them old ass. I never really played it that much, but I played games from there that, like, went on to other websites and shit, like Puff Games. I don't even know if y'all know that. Project Nexus. Hey, bro, as much as I call that like a shitty $30 Borderlands 2 ass game, it actually is pretty fun, bro. I've been enjoying the arena mode, bro. I can't lie. 19 months before the release of Madness Project Nexus. Well, this is when they were like deep in like fixing bugs and shit. I'm already knowing.
All kinds of stuff that would have broken. Now that should fix it. Though that did look kind of neat.
Cause I can imagine all the little tiny ass bugs they had. That's probably why it took 6 years to come out or whatever, bro. Just crazy. Oh, for over 7 years, damn. That's kind of dope to see him working on it before it's even out. Remember I played like the beta and then there was some like leaked version I played, but I only played like the experimental mode back then.
What were some of the biggest hurdles you had to come across transitioning into Unity?
From Flash specifically. The big one is that, well, I want to say the massiveness of the game, but honestly, that's not a hurdle. That was Unity handled it. Flash couldn't handle a game that was this big, and Unity is doing it well. But then again, Flash was never meant for game design. It was not built for that. We just sort of jammed our interest into it. And
that's crazy, because didn't it start out on Flash, and then they had to like convert it all to Unity or restart from scratch again on Unity once they realized how big the game was fucking starting to be?
Turning this question into what do you hate about Flash? Instead, look.
Ain't no way Project Nexus Classic was released in 2012. I thought it was older than that, bro.
I'd say that the biggest hurdle, honestly, everything has been good since we left Flash. It's been fantastic. Flash has its uses, and this was not one of them, but we tried to jam the square peg of game design into the round hole of Flash's non-mainline, non-intended purpose of game design. So, yeah, I suppose.
What was Flash's like first use anyways? Was it just to like play videos? Or what was the main use of that? Because if it's not made for game design, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all people know about it for now. Flash games.
Was, maybe the biggest hurdle then might have actually, that might be
animation maybe? I don't know.
The question is that because Unity gave us this scope of, with Flash you can only get so big, but Unity, you truly can make this game as big as you want. And so we did. And so it's 6 years later and we're still working on it. So I suppose if you look at it that way, the aptitude that Unity has for making exactly the kind of game you want, which we have, I'm very happy with what we have, has led us towards and down a path that that has taken a very long time, much more than we thought.
So basically, the reason why it took so damn long is because they just kept trying to add shit because they were on an engine that could take more shit. And the more they just started adding, they're like, damn, this is a lot of work. Bug fixing, getting it right. Shit, I can understand it. Too many options sometimes is worse than 2 options.
No regrets, of course. It's a much better game than we promised we were going to make, too. But that's absolutely the hurdle, no question about it.
Yeah, see, this documentary is nice as hell so far. I never even looked that deep behind them Madness Combat shit. Like, I don't even know Crinkles, bro. I know he still streams every now and then. Every Madness Day, at least. Got a collage of, like, every Madness Combat. Actually, no, there's too many out there. They wouldn't be able to fit all of them in one, I swear to God. The Madness Combat story. I'm saying, this is only chapter 1, bro. They're about to go deep into this shit. Madness Archive outdid themselves at this one.
2020 marks the 20th anniversary of the Madness Combat series. And as a longtime fan of 15 years, I wanted to celebrate.
God damn, 15 years. I feel like it's a long time. I've only been a fan for like, what, 2 years? I don't even remember when I first started watching
history, creation, and lasting impact the series has had on fans and creators around the world. in early 2017, I began researching and
It's like some Vice documentary or some BBC shit with his British accent.
in preparation for this documentary. And after discussing the idea with two friends, Charlie and Anthony, we decided to fly out to Philadelphia to talk to Crinkles, Swain and Folk in person to find out more about this beloved series, as well as the development of Madness Project Nexus.
Damn.
So to tell the
So
story
I actually went and talked to Crinkles. We're gonna have some Crinkles interviews and shit.
right, we have to go back to the very beginning.
I was about to say, that ain't the beginning. 2022 definitely ain't the beginning. Did they say 1998 was the first one? What did they say? That shit might be too loud. I'm about to turn this down a little bit. Okay, 1998. Yeah, that was the beginning real quick. I want to see some Crinkles interviews, man. It's like a damn iDubbbz documentary. Get out of here.
As a 17-year-old Matt Jolly attends high school in central Colorado, technology is booming. America Online buys Netscape for $4.2 billion.
We ready to go? We think the combination...
Not gonna lie though, right here was like when there was a big transfer of wealth with the internet and stuff, and I think we're going through that right now again, bro, with all this metaverse, crypto, NFT bullshit. I mean, it could pan out or it could all be a scam. You never know, bro.
With AOL is just a killer deal.
Microsoft launches Windows 98.
33 seconds and counting. All associates stand by.
See,
98 is about to launch.
now it's quiet. Now I gotta turn that motherfucker
Steve
up.
Jobs unveils the iMac.
Is iMac?
And one website was catching the attention
Tell me why all my schools had that type of fucking
of
computer.
America's youth.
Probably that damn
Newgrounds.
year too. Ain't got no funding in my shit.
I was hanging out with some friends, and a good friend of mine from high school, I'm from Miami, had come up to Orlando where I went to college and told me about this website that he thought I in particular would enjoy, and of course he was right. And this was Newgrounds back in 2000, so this was all Tom's early Assassin games, Teletubby joke things, you know. Like the funny stuff that was the progenitor to the Flash portal.
This man was on Newgrounds around the time I was born. I'm
Before
dead.
people started to contribute.
So starting in 1999, people could email their files to have them showcased on Newgrounds, which kind of created that.
1995. Did I hear that right? Newgrounds been along for that long?
Original community of Flash animators and game developers. Then in 2000, we automated it, and that was the first time anyone could just do real-time publishing of games and animation, which just
So it was like some email type shit before, and then in 2000, okay.
really, you know, built that foundation for the site. And the site
Look at that
always kind of
old ass fucking Newgrounds page.
stayed true to those values of being, you know, community for.
Hey, they had Pico back then too, bro. That was one of the OGs, yeah. What are some of these other ones? I don't recognize nothing else here besides Pico. Actually, the Assassin looks a little...
People to share their work. It sort of just still has that purpose. It's like very purpose-driven in that, which has just kind of kept it consistent, and we keep improving it. We're always working to improve it, so.
I spent maybe a couple days on the site, exhausted all the content, played everything, and thought, okay, that was a lot of fun, and then moved on to whatever the next website was. Newgrounds wasn't big yet. It was on the precipice of getting there, but there's no way that we could have known that at the time.
And back then, there were like so many different websites, bro. It ain't like now where there's just like 6 we rotate through. I swear to God.
Meanwhile, in Matthew's school books, something was beginning to take shape. All he needed was the tool to do so.
Ain't no way. This man was drawing them in his school books before it came into this? That's crazy. Yeah, I think that, because I was going to say, 1998 seems a little too early. I think it was 2000, early 2000s.
The first Madness-themed animation was released February 19th, 2002.
Marsh-Mellow-Madness.
Marsh-Mellow-Madness. In the summer of 2001, after borrowing...
Why have I never even seen that, bruh? They're telling me this is the first animation?
Copy of Macromedia Flash 5 from his school library, Matt would go on to make a short trilogy of cartoons on Newgrounds, Breadman. But it wasn't until Marsh
I think I have seen that actually. Now I think about it, that looks kind of, yeah, I think I
hit the
have.
scene that he would find his true creative outreach.
If I'm remembering correctly, oh god, I think
that
about this
Crinkles?
sometimes, and it just makes me wish I had the piece of paper still. But like we used to go to Old Chicago all the time. This is a pizza place, you know, bar is really, I mean, it's fine. But they had you know, the crayons and the kids menus, and I was a fucking weird little 19-year-old. I was like, give me that, I want to draw all over it. And so, like, I'd flip it over and just draw whatever I want. And that's ultimately where the Marsh-Mellow-Madness plot came from, because, like, I'd been drawing these little,
This
like,
man drew a whole comic strip of it before he put into animation. Real ass creative, I
madnessy looking
swear.
guys before in my sketchbooks from time to
Man,
time.
those are some
And
nice ass
it was
drawings
still
real
in my
quick.
head when I flipped over this thing and just started drawing. And, like, one of the sketches on there with the crown was, like, the cannon and this guy getting shot in the marshmallow. I was like, oh, that's great. But, like, when I sat down to Flash, I thought, like, hey, this is the project I've been looking for. Because, like, I'd made Breadman.
Never heard of Breadman. Oh, hell no. This man had his old ship blow up.
And, like, I'd made a whole bunch of stuff before Breadman that was just, like, nonsense. Just me, like...
Is that where Jesus came from, bro? JesusHateYou.com. What the
my
fuck?
tires in the mud, because I was learning how to the very basics of Flash, and I'm not a very quick learner. So, like, there's a lot of frigging mud kicked up in the air as I was trying to figure that out. And something about the whole, like, hey, let's put the people in the marshmallow, that was, like, pretty engaging to me. So I thought, maybe I could do that in Flash. It's all like 2D. It's set up pretty flatly, and it's, these.
Yeah, I
little
tried to
guys
look
and-
at Flash once to animate, and I'm just like, oh, hell no. I ain't got this much time, bro. Fuck
not much to 'em.
no.
They don't even have arms, like. So it wasn't. I remember the time between the end of when I released Marsh-Mellow-Madness and the time I started plotting Madness Combat was, like, very brief, because I was still in college and I was drawing all over my fucking notes with these little guys fighting each other, and I was like, oh yeah, they gotta fight. It'd be easy to do, and, like, I started, like, choreographing things, which all got ignored. But, like, it was me just, like, drawing things that I knew that could happen in cartoons. And that's when, over
It's
the
kind of
course
how it
of,
all
like,
starts, bro. I feel like everyone, like, when the animators first start, they just draw, like, cartoons or, like, comic strips, something like that, and envision that shit. Remember when I was, like, 8, I used to do that shit, but I could never animate that
4
motherfucker.
months, and I remember this kind of, like, horrifies me to think about sometimes, because, like, it was in an era when we were big on LAN parties. So, like, I would be working on this cartoon, and then we'd be like, hey, LAN party over at Scott's or Sean's or whatever. And I was like, haul up the computer through the snow, slip and slide all over the place. And, like, I did
Oh,
not
hell
drop the computer
no.
because, like,
Man brought his whole PC. I mean, shit, I remember I used to do that with the original Xbox with
I
Halo.
feel like if I had broken it and destroyed that cartoon project, I would have, like, wound up doing something else. And then who knows where we'd be. But, like, it's just funny to think back on. I didn't happen to slip that time.
That's crazy.
I wasn't sure what to make about Matt the first time I met him. Of course, he was polite, friendly, and courteous, but he has a way of talking down upon his own abilities and his prior work, such to the extent where I almost got the feeling that he was trapped by his own creation, creatively, in terms of branching out into something new. But who else would know him better than...
Someone told me that, like, he's working on a new Madness animation. I mean, maybe that's just a bullshit rumor, but seeming like from this documentary, like, you don't even want to work on Madness no more.
friends?
Oh boy. Yeah, me and Matt, we went to elementary school together. So we weren't really, best friends or anything. I knew who he was.
What type of profile pictures is this, bruh?
But we were only like 9 or 10. And then we ended up going to the same middle school and the same high school. And it wasn't until probably the beginning of high school that we started hanging out. And I don't know, it was him and just a group of friends that we're all still friends today. And they're like the best friends I've ever had. And Matt ended up moving in with me and just working in the basement, in our basement, on little animations, little short.
It's like some, like, big tech startup story type shit. Like, oh, we worked in the garage.
And,
fuck out of here.
And eventually asked me to make some music for him, and I did. I was still living at home, and we were probably 16 or 17, I think. Somewhere around there. We made a lot of videos, tons of videos. We would write scripts, and we would videotape ourselves, and all we wanted to do was make movies. That was all any of us wanted to do. Like, we all wanted to star in the movies. We all wanted to edit the movies, direct the movies, write the movies, make the music for them. That's all we wanted.
There was like some amateur filmmakers to start off with, and then they somehow got into animation. Shit.
Do it all. So we always had a camera nearby, and we were always screwing around. And then I think that's how Matt kind of found animating, because he's always been an incredible artist. And then he turned his skills to animating, and he's incredible at that too. But I think this is his version of making movies. You know what I mean?
So like I said, yeah, I guess he had to go to animation because, shit. I feel like they were maybe a little too early for that, like, camcorder screw-around days. That was like when YouTube in its early days
Madness
type
Combat
shit.
was released July 25th, 2002, just 5 months and 6 days after Marsh-Mellow. After receiving positive reviews from the Newgrounds community, Matt not only had the encouragement he needed, but he had found an avenue to further express his creativity.
Hell yeah, that's where we got the first one, bro, with the dancing, man. I just seen a remake of this that looked good as hell, too.
And I remember after I got that out, Tom put that cartoon in the the funny cartoon section, which because the portal wasn't very fast back then, he could categorize things, and I took that as like a badge of honor. I was like, oh shit, like Tom handpicked this, and I think he did the same to the Death of Breadman too. But like this is just more encouragement.
Yeah,
Madness
bro. That
Combat
first, I
not
remember
only
that
set
first scene, the first Madness Combat animation. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was beyond confused. Bro with the boombox just starts beating ass. Dudes dancing in the background.
Stage for what would come for 2 decades.
It's almost like a masterpiece animation, honestly, at least for that time.
Years later, but did it with a level of polish not seen by many animators in the early days of Flash. As dated as it may appear today, many of the standards of the Madness genre were laid out from the very beginning.
Hey man, I watched this in like 2019, 2020. I'm still watching Madness to this day, so it can't be that dated, bruh.
One protagonist versus a world of antagonists. Weapons, explosives, high body counts, Jesus, zombies, as well as a
Nah, I think Jesus is what really made it. Once Jesus came in, then it's like, oh, okay, this shit crazy. I don't even know what's going on now.
MC1 may be one of the weaker entries in the series, but it's hard to discredit its significance, and most importantly, its relevancy.
Shit, I guess that's the end of chapter 1, man. That was actually good as hell for the first chapter. They didn't even really start going through the animations yet. They was just going to like the backstory and shit. Looks like it's about to be crazy as hell already, bruh. Well, hey man, shout out to Madness Archive for actually making a whole documentary on this shit. I mean, it has been like 20 years now. But I do wonder if Krinkles is gonna make any more, if he's gonna move on to something else, bruh. I guess maybe at the end of this fucking documentary, he'll reveal what the fuck is going on with them. Anyways, man, if you enjoyed the video, bro, please like, subscribe. The channel helps get out to the public. I guess so now I'll see you in the next one, man.